What was it like to walk around and see these people with your own eyes?
Well, it's wonderful to see these new families arriving in Maine. I know they've gone through a lot of challenges to get here, and I appreciate the fact that Portland and the surrounding communities are really pulling together, making sure that people get the medical services that they need, the interpretation support, and just help them to move along the way. They want to go through the asylum process, and if they're admitted to this country, they'll become wonderful new Mainers.
We have seen this at the national level, but this is the first time we're really seeing the effects of asylum seeking. Well, I can't say that. Recently now,
Yes.
in Maine. What is that like for you to come here back in Portland and see, coming from D.C.?
Well, we have a whole debate raging in D.C., and we should have some sensible legislation that works for everybody. But back here in Maine, it's nice to see that there isn't the kind of partisan bickering going around. People have just said, let me know how to help. Now, we have had a stream of asylum seekers coming into our state, but what's unusual about this is they're coming in big batches, and that's due to changes on the border. More people are just being, basically put on a bus and sent to other cities. And I think there'll be a limit to the number that come here, but it's important that with this big influx that we all help in any way. Back in Washington, I'm working with some of my colleagues to see if cities like Portland could get some extra funding to help with the assistance, because these are asylum seekers who won't be staying in Texas and who won't be in other places in the country. But it takes a while to go through the process, and they'll have some needs along the way. The other thing I did was I submitted a bill that said once you're in the process, rather than having to wait for 6 months before you get a work permit, you just wait 30 days. And let's face it, we have a worker shortage in Maine. We have people coming who the first thing they want to do is go to work. And so it's silly that we have this prohibition for 6 months. I think a lot of people think that, everyone wants to sit around with their feet up. Well, that's not true. They want to go to work, and we could change that with legislation.
You touched a little bit on how to actually pay for some of the services that they need. Do you think that's something that should be handled at the state level, the federal level, the municipal level?
Well, the state already makes a huge contribution to this, and I think that with this governor, Janet Mills, she said, we're going to see this as a challenge that's affecting our entire state. Frankly, we need new families throughout our state, and we need more people in the workforce everywhere that people live. So it is something that we should all be a part of. It shouldn't be just a situation for Portland, and it's been heartwarming to see people pouring in donations. I think City of Portland's already received over $200,000, which shows that Mainers, they're good-hearted and they pull together in times of need. But it's also a federal issue. Immigration, these are federal policies, and we should have more federal funding to go with it.
Okay. I think you've kind of answered all of my questions then.
Great.
Okay,
great.
thank
Well,
you so much for your time.
Appreciate you guys being on.